Hi guys, and welcome to the Sunderland vs Swindon match preview. So Sunderland take on Swindon at the Stadium Light on Tuesday night. So as for Swindon, they're in a half-decent run of form at the minute, unbeaten in the last 3 games. They did take on Northampton last Saturday. They won by 2-1. They drew the week before that against Lincoln, who of course been flying this season. They got a very good 2-2 draw there. And before that, they beat none other than Crewe, who we struggled with, of course, last weekend. So they beat them by 2-1. I mean, don't get me wrong, Swindon were at home when they took on Crewe, and when we took on Crewe, we were away from home. Crewe have that very, very good home record, but even so, it's still the same team, it's still the same size, still the same set of players, and they got away with a win. So this isn't a game to be taken lightly, but we are back at the Stadium Light. We're looking to make it 5 games unbeaten ourselves, of course, getting 3 wins and a draw last time out as well against Crewe, as I just mentioned. So for us, it's going to be difficult to decide how to set up, because for me, as I did mention in the review and the preview of the previous game against Crewe, I was saying, before that, the back 3 that we've had to resort to pretty much because of injuries, and we only have one fit senior centre-back, we've had to resort to this 3 at the back system, which it's okay if you're up against a team that are going to sit back, put all men behind the ball, because you don't need too many bodies back, do you? If anything, you want more bodies forward to try and penetrate that wall, that back line of the opposition. But I was saying how I was worried that as soon as this back 3 are going to be tested, particularly 2 of them, McLaughlin and O'Neill out of that back 3, they're both, one of them's a midfielder and one of them's a right back in both respects. But I was worried that the second that back 3 is seriously tested, we're going to collapse, and that's exactly what happened in the first half against Crewe. Second half, we're lucky probably not to concede a bit more. Only the last 20 minutes did we seem bothered, and it seems to get on top of the game. We had 20 minutes out of that entire 90, and we managed to score 2 worldies to save us against Crewe. And that shows the quality that we do have, but we need to approach this game with the right attitude, and it has to be the right system as well. We need to try and gather the intel and try and work out how we're going to approach this game. Are we going to approach it as if we're going to predict that Swindon are going to sit back? Because for me, I think they will. I think they'll have a go at it, but I think they will, for large parts, I think there will be another team at the Stadium Light that are going to sit back and go for the draw, or maybe play on the counter-attack. And if that is the case, by all means, go for the 3 at the back. But preferably, I want rid of that. I know we don't have many players left to tinker with defensively anyway, but personally I want to get rid of the back 3. I think we look a lot more comfortable as a back 4. When we changed to it on Saturday, we looked a lot more comfortable defensively, somewhat anyway, even when players are out of position. McFadzean, who had a nightmare of a game, when we go to a back 4, it takes a lot of pressure off him as well, in my opinion. I don't think, it's frustrating because McFadzean, Vokins, I think they're both shocking. I think they're both shocking. Vokins, when he's put in a sort of left wing back position or pushed a bit further up against a team that are going to sit back, is not as bad. He's not as much of a liability. But positionally, defensively, Vokins is so much worse than McFadzean. McFadzean's just someone who's a liability in the sense that he'll pass it in the wrong areas, or he'll try and take on a man in the wrong areas and lose it in the wrong areas. So it's dumb and dumber. That's literally what it's like. And for me, I'd still prefer McFadzean. You might think I'm crazy, but you need to remember, you can't just forget because McFadzean played poorly at Crewe. You can't forget the couple of poor performances we've seen from Vokins as well. I just don't trust him, and I can't wait for him to get back from injury, which isn't going to be for a while. But I'd still prefer McFadzean in my opinion. But either way, this is my preferred 11, not my predicted 11. Remember, this isn't what I think is going to happen. This is what I would prefer to happen. I've changed this a good 2 or 3 times, by the way, and it's probably going to change again midway through me going through it with you. So this is the lineup I've originally gone with. So we have Burge in goal, McFadzean at left back, Sanderson and O'Neill at the centre-back position with McLaughlin at right back. Now in the middle we have Winchester and Power. Of course, Scowen played the other day, and I think he was just as poor as the rest of them. I don't mind Scowen because he does have that bite. He's very busy, he's quick, but he's just become so complacent on the ball, gives it away. And if he doesn't get on the ball enough and he doesn't accomplish his goals of pressing well enough, then he becomes useless. So I'd like to see Winchester get a start on Tuesday night with Power alongside him, who, yes, he didn't have a great game. No one had a great game on Saturday. But we need to remember that he did come into a bit of form before that when we did win 3 on the bounce, and he was playing very, very well. So we can't just forget that after one game. Winchester and Power together, I'd like to see that. Winchester's a bit of an athlete. We haven't seen enough of him, but he's, like I say, he is an athlete. He gets about the pitch. He's strong, and I think he could really help the side. Now, this is where things get interesting. it is the front sort of 4 or the 3 behind Wyke. I'd love to see Jones, McGeady and Maguire all thrown in together, throw all of our creative players together, or better on our best creative players and quicker players out there. Granted, Maguire isn't known for his pace, but we know his technical ability and his ability to come up with a moment of magic. It's there. We only saw that against Crewe. So to see that, maybe not exactly in that way, but I think Jones is more of an out-and-out left winger. McGeady is someone who, even if he is put on the left wing, he likes to drift into the middle anyway. We've seen that. He even comes deep at times. It's almost a free roaming role, so I think it would be ideal to sit him behind Wyke, and he can drift from left to right if needs be. Maguire on that right hand side, he likes to cut in as well. So I just think those players in behind Wyke, it would take the pressure off our back line defensively anyway, because we'd be so good going forward, if that makes sense. Now, I did actually have another system that I was looking at as well, and this is the other one. We have O'Nien, Sanderson, McLaughlin and Power across the back, with Winchester and Scowen in the middle as well. So like I say, it's just changing constantly, but I'm steering away from the 3 at the back. It's more than likely going to see it. We're more than likely going to see the 3 at the back, but I would like to see us go back to 4. And regardless of what we do across the back line or in the middle, I want to see Jones, McGeady and Maguire on the pitch at the same time. You might think it's harsh on Gooch, but it's a form game. Gooch was poor again as well, and in the last game, and that probably contradicts myself a little bit, because I just said Power wasn't great, but before that he was very good, and Gooch was good before that. But I think we just need to mix it up a bit, because I don't want us to ruin this run of form, this unbeaten run of form. We've managed to luckily cling on to it. I don't want us to just ruin it now by sticking with players that did well for the first 3. We were very lucky in the last game, so I think we do need to change it up in the final third. So that is my preferred lineup, should I say. Just a couple of mix around lineups there, but I would maybe like to see Neil alongside someone like Power or Winchester in the middle, but we know that's not going to happen. I would like to see Neil, to be fair, but like I say, I can't see that happening at the moment. But in terms of my predictions, I think with us, improving our home form somewhat as well in recent weeks, I'd like to suggest or think that we get away unscathed and with a 2-0 win. That's what I'm going to go with. I think the lads, they would have gone back to the training ground after Saturday's game, or at least Lee Johnson would have took him away, had a meeting, had a chat about the performance, as I'm sure he does after every game, and really laid into him and shown him what's what, because they were really off it on Saturday, and I'm sure that they'll get a response, or he'll get a response at the players, I'm sure. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Sunderland win. A clean sheet would be massive as well, given how poor they were at the weekend. So I'd love to see the 4 at the back again. If it's 3, then it's 3. But again, I keep repeating myself here, but I think it all just depends on how Swindon approach this game, and I don't know how they're going to. It could be a case of everyone behind the ball, let Sunderland have possession, that's fine. But that sometimes plays into our hands, because we're slowly starting to find out how to get through teams that just put everyone behind the ball. Like Fleetwood, really, that's what happened with them, and we managed to punish them. Whereas in the past, under Parky, for example, when teams come to the stadium like, we'd end up somehow losing by 1-0 or drawing, because we just didn't have that creativity or that bite in the final third. Well, I believe we have that now, and goals can come from anywhere. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Sunderland win. So you guys let me know what kind of team you would go with. What do you think the score is going to be as well? Let me know in the comments down below. But if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already, to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.